Alright, Shalom. Before I get started, as always, I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushai, Ba'ashim Akakudash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone that rule well. Peace and salutation that's pushing to the Akim, so like that's pushing his word in truth and sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth, waking up the whole from elect. Shalom. This is the brother Zayan Amar from the GMS Detroit by Camp, and coming to you with another lesson as to what's the word I want to use? Admonishment, right? On of what not to be, right? And I'm came across, was reading through the Maccabees and reminded of he was an Israelite, he's of our people, but as the scriptures say, among my people are found wicked men, all right, with this guy Jason being one of them, all right, because basically he's basically a traitor to the nation of Israel, because all right, he is one of the individuals that's responsible for Hellenizing, right, the Israelites, basically turning them to a heathenistic way of life, because basically he wanted some notoriety and a seat. He wanted, how can I put it? He wanted to be in a position of power, all right? So basically he did whatever it took to appease the so-called white men, right, who were the Greeks at the time. Anyway, this guy Jason, so-called high priest, he was a wicked individual, Like I say, he was one of the key characters, right? And just making Israel go off, go way the hell off. So I'm gonna read, some of this Wikipedia here, and I was gonna go through the scriptures and get the accounts, and like I say, this is just admonishment, because what the scriptures say, things that are written before time are written for our learning. So any and everything that's written in the scriptures, right, is something that you can take, right? It's something that you can take and add to yourself, right? You can learn from. You can be made more perfect, in the eyes of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai. So anyway, Jason said of the Oniad family, brother of Onias III, was a high priest in the temple of Jerusalem. Jason became high priest in 175 BCE after the ascension of Antiochus Epiphanes to the throne of the Seleucid Empire. Just trying to see if I can get some of the points. See, Jason's time as high priest was brought to an abrupt end in 171 BC when he sent Menelaus, the brother of Simon the Benjamin, to deliver money to Antiochus. That's not what I want. So like, 1 second. That's not what I want. Oh, here we go. It says, in the ongoing dispute between the current high priest, Onias III, and Simon the Benjamite, Jason offered to pay Antiochus in order to be confirmed as the new high priest. So basically he tried to buy his way into priesthood, right? And that's the thing with this truth. Nothing concerning this truth. You can't buy your way into the kingdom of heaven. You can't buy your way into a camp. You can't buy your way into understanding this knowledge. You have to You have to make your basically have to stay to show that self-approved. You know, you have to basically go through the earnest to furnace. You got to actually experience this truth, all right? And the only way you can do that is actually getting involved, all right? Whereby, joining the camp, coming into this understanding, teaching your people, all right? But it ain't about no money, That's the last thing the Lord is looking for. But anyway, he say, accepted the offer and further allowed Jason to build a gymnasium in Jerusalem and create Greek-style palace named after the king of Antioch. Let's get what this word palace is. Polis. Okay, city. It means city. So going back, it's just a Greek-style city named after the king. So this guy Jason is basically a kiss ass, to a so-called white man. And it's funny how they say history repeats itself, because you have a lot of our people that are in that same spirit today, that they'll do anything to appease a so-called white man in hopes of, being put, being put on a pedestal in this society, so-called American society, all right? Whether it just be fame, riches, that's the most notable thing Jake is looking for. He want to just be, he want to be regarded as someone of importance by having some type of, seat, some type of fame or riches, and hey, the Lord, he ain't dealing with that, not one bit, So real quick, let's get the account. This guy Jason going the hell off. I think it's in Maccabees, the 4th chapter. Second Maccabees, the 4th chapter. Let's see. Bear with me one moment. I was trying to find it. This is 2 Maccabees 4, and I start at 7. But after the death of Seleucus, when Antiochus or Antiochus, right, called Epiphanes, took the kingdom, Jason, the brother of Onias, labored underhand to be high priest, promising unto the king by intercession 303 square talents of silver, and of another revenue 80 talents. Besides this, he promised to assign 150 more. So this guy, something else, man. Like I say, he trying to just buy his way into the priesthood, And on the flip side of that, that's what Esau, all right, so-called white man, he's carnal. So, that's what appeases to him, It says, besides this, he promised, right, I read that, okay, if he might have license to set him up a place for exercise and for the training up of youth in the fashions of the heathen. So he's just in this thing right here. He's corrupting the nation of Israel because, hey, the scriptures say to train up a child in the way that he should go. So, right, but he's not training up, right, our children in the way of the Lord. All right, he's training them up in the way of the heathen. All right, vain and vile things. Eating, abominable foods. Right, not keeping the customs of Israel as far as going to Jerusalem 3 times a year. And, serving the Lord. Probably not, speaking in the Hebrew anymore. Not praying unto the Lord. To the point he's cutting them off from their heritage. He's not teaching them the right thing. All right. They go. Mr. Continue on. It says, and to write them of Jerusalem by the name of Antiochus. So basically, he corrupted. He was a pivotal, like I say, force that corrupted, our nation. So now you have it to where they're not calling themselves Israelites anymore. They're calling themselves after the way of the white man, Antiochus. Just like our people call themselves African Americans here in this society, which was a name, a byword or a proverb that was put onto you. All right, we're not African Americans. All right, the Lord deemed us as Israelites, but you have, our people won't claim that heritage. For one, they may not, they're ignorant of the fact, all right, because they're in a Gentile state of mind. They're heathens, right, in the eyes of the Lord, but they don't know who they are. They don't know, right, that they have a power, all right, a real, true power, all right, that's sitting in the heavens, all right, that chose them above everybody upon the face of the earth. They don't know that. So, because they don't know that, all they're going to do is recite, what has been, what's the word I want to say? They're only going to recite what's been put on them, pretty much, by way of the so-called white man. The white man calls you African American. All right? So just to show you, the same things that went on then go on right now, And that's how you can discern who the people are, because the Lord left signs for us to be able to pinpoint, who the Israelites are, just through process of elimination, But just to read on, it said, which when the king had granted, he had gotten into his hand the rule, he forthwith brought his own nation to Greekish fashion. All right, so basically, how we know Jason was an Israelite. All right, he basically turned his own people. He turned his people against the Lord by teaching them the way of the Greeks. All right, so now they're keeping whole other customs. Again, just for understanding, right? Just like our people do today, right? Where they worship another God, right? They worship this other Jesus, so-called white Jesus, all right? They keep the customs of the heathen, which are these so-called holidays, whether it be Thanksgiving, right, or Christmas, right? Mind you, they do all this in the church. Hell, Halloween, you know what I'm saying? They keep these customs religiously, year after year, month after month, not acknowledging the true power, not acknowledging and praising, right, the power that gave them life, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, all right? It says, and the royal privileges granted of special favor to the Jews by the means of John the father of Epilemius, who went ambassador to Rome for enmity and aid, he took away and putting down the governments which were according to the law, he brought up new customs against the law. So we had basically he just disannulled everything that we had going for us, right? Because once upon a time we had the right to keep our customs, right, to keep our laws, right. You had this guy Jason, right? He was against all that. And he disannulled all that to where now we have to keep the laws of the heathen nations above our own laws, right? And the Lord ain't with that because the Most High is a jealous power, you know. Verse 12 says, "For he built gladly a place of exercise under the tower itself, and brought the chief young men under his subjection, and made them wear a hat. Now such was the height of Greek fashions, and increase of heathenish manners through the exceeding profaneness of Jason, that ungodly wretch and no high priest." You know, this guy was wicked as all hell, man. Wicked as all hell. And basically, you've made yourself, right? Any guy that's like this, all right, that's turning their people away, okay, from Yahweh Shem Yahushai, you're a traitor. You're committing treason against the Heavenly Father, you know, and the Heavenly Father is not gonna let that slide, you know. Cause you're teaching your people how to go off. They don't need no help in that. They need help in how to get right, how to amend their ways with the Heavenly Father, because the Heavenly Father is coming to judge this place, right? This place as in America in these times, right? But let's see. I guess that's the point. That's pretty much the point there, you know, just to touch on just a little bit of history, wickedness of this guy, right, Jason, right, which you can read about him in the Apocrypha, which is a part of the Holy Scriptures, right. Just get you a King James 16:11, and you'll see that the Apocrypha is intact with the Scriptures, right in between the so-called Old and New Testament, right. So with that, you know, Lord willing, this was edifying. And with that, I want to give all praises to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Makakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone that rule well. Peace and salutation to the icon that's pushing his word in truth and sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth. Shalom.